Yo, what is going on, everybody? Episode 122 of many. Happy Tuesday to everybody listening. Hopefully you guys are having a good car ride or a good workout session or cleaning the house or whatever else you got going on. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, listening to me talk about whatever we're talking about today. So, if this is your first time tuning in, my name's Colton Burt. This is the Grizzly Life Podcast. We talk a little bit about everything on this podcast, right? Once in a while, we'll talk about finances and financial tips, how to use credit cards and how to stay out of debt and how to leverage stuff, right? Sometimes we'll talk about general business, some things that I'm learning in there, some things that I'm going through in our current businesses, real estate deals and all of that. Sometimes we'll talk fitness. We'll talk about fitness goals and things that are going on. I do tend to talk a lot about goal setting and habits and, anyways, we talk about a little bit of everything here. We're trying to kind of find our home and what our niche is here. But anyways, appreciate you guys for tuning in. If it's your first time, go back and listen to episodes 1 through 4. Those are the original episodes of this podcast. It'll talk a little bit about how we have gotten to where we are today and what we are building and just kind of the original story. So anyways, without further ado, for my regular listeners and knowing what's going on, I'm excited to say I am back into running. The weather's nice. I encourage everybody to get outside, get the sun, breathe some oxygen. A lot of us work inside all day long. We get home, we're tired, right? I can't tell you how important sunshine is. Vitamin D, right? So I am getting back into getting my steps in outside primarily, but then also trying to run a little bit. There's some I told you guys my goal is to run a half marathon this year. I was going to do it in May. I kind of fell off between helping out with the restaurant and just doing a lot of stuff, right? It's okay to fall off, but kind of remember what you wanted to do and figure it out. So half marathon is on my radar for this year. I am now going to start running again in the mornings around my workout. So I usually lift around 6:15 in the morning. I'm going for a jog for a mile. Before that, just kind of keeping it small and easy. But anyways, I'm just excited. I want you guys to get out, get some sun, cure that seasonal depression. That's the sun's coming out, the snow's away. I know it's been rainy, obviously, but anyways, that's my message. Get outside, enjoy it. Enjoy the fresh air. I have a couple little things to talk about. I'll keep it short and sweet today. I am back on track with a semi-strict carnivore diet. I would say more strict than not. I've gone back to cutting out dairy / mainly just cheese. I'm at the restaurant every day, so most of my meals come from there. I have my own food at the restaurant that we cook up, so I provide that, or I eat the restaurant food as well. I have my own meat and eggs and stuff that I have to get through, so I just have some stuff. But anyways, I usually would eat, a meat lover's omelet every once in a while. I'd get some cheese in there. I'm cutting that out again. I am doing strict carnivore, although I am allowed to eat some berries. Raspberries, blueberries, or blackberries are the berries of choice. So trying to incorporate those in the diet every now and then as well to see how my body reacts, and just put a little bit of carbs in there and try that. So if you don't know what carnivore diet is, it's primarily meat and eggs. You gotta keep your sodium up. I'm trying to include fatty fish as well. Strict carnivore diet would be primarily red meat, your bacon as well, and like I said, salt and eggs. So anyways, to my message for the day. I've been working with a lot of younger guys in specific, and I feel like I see this issue quite often. I've personally known a lot of people like this. I have people on my team like this in the past or whatever, right? I've worked with people like this where they don't truly have a best friend or somebody who they really do rely on, right? And, I'm very close with my parents, and I've got 3, 4-ish people who I can really, really count on, and I can talk to about anything and everything. And I know they're going to give me some honest feedback, and if I need them to listen, they're willing to listen, right? I have people who I can really be vulnerable with. And one thing that I've noticed or seen a lot of, and I'm sure you all know somebody like this, where they've got a friends list for days. Everybody's their friend. Oh my gosh, happy birthday, bro. Like, you're the best. Best friends for, whatever, right? Like, I see this a lot with kids, like, teens, early 20s. And I don't get it. I mean, I don't know, maybe, I guess my point here is, like, you need to be vulnerable and you need to have people you can really count on. I feel like a lot of these people that have friends and everybody have no real friends at the end of the night. Somebody who is willing to come and get you out of the ditch or help fix a flat tire or help you move your house or whatever. When it comes to relying on people, as soon as these people start getting married, a lot of these people who have all of these friends start having less friends and people who aren't really, like, there for themselves. And I've, again, talked to a couple people in specific lately that, I don't want to say are depressed, but are sad and they, feel like they've got nobody or whatever. And I think we need to go back to having, I mean, I'm not saying go back to, but we need to have those 2 or 3 people you can really count on, My dad always told me when I was like a little kid that, by the time I forget what he would say specifically, but by the time I'm older, in my old age, I'm lucky to have, if I can count all my best friends or my people on one hand, right? Like, at the end of the day, you don't have many people who care about you like you care about you, and that, again, you can really care about and count on. So keeping people close to you and managing that friendship and that relationship, I think, is very important. One of the keys to longevity is having friends and being social and meeting new people and being, I don't want to say outgoing, you don't have to be outgoing, but just having people around. A lot of people in their older years, once they retire and they stay at home and they stop being social, that's kind of when that light burns out. So practicing having really good friends now, and if there's a relationship that maybe had some issues in the past as far as a best friend, maybe you guys had a slight falling out, but you guys have been best friends for a long time or whatever. Of course, depending on the reasons, you have to be careful, but I recommend keeping people close to you and having people you can truly count on. I think, again, it's a key to longevity, and you can't get through this world alone, right? I mean, at the end of the day, all we have is ourselves, but I need you to be able to have people to rely on and count on and keep that spirit up. Again, I know a lot of people who they have troubles opening up. They don't talk to people enough. They're not willing to. I think these younger guys, like, they're in their own way. They don't have anybody, like, there's issues there. And I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Maybe this is a bad episode, but I just know, like, very recently in the last couple weeks, I've had experiences with a couple guys that I'm close with or semi-close with that just need people that they can count on and rely on and be willing to open up and take us in as family. I like to say that our team is family driven. And so I always, when I bring new people on or when people are new to the team, I often say we're the type of team who, if you need something, if you get a flat tire or your car's in a ditch, we're the type of company who we want to help each other out. We're not just show up and, wave at each other and smile and clock out and not talk to each other. So anyways, find somebody you can stay close with and be willing to open up and be vulnerable and tell them all your secrets, and maybe not all of them, but everything you need to talk about. So number 1. Number 2, I want you to do things that you want to do and don't care what other people think. Again, I've had a couple recent situations. I don't do this podcast for everybody. That doesn't make sense. The average person has like 2 podcasts they like to listen to. I know I'm not going to crack into everybody's 2. That is not my goal. That is not my intention. But I do this podcast for the people who listen, right? Pretty simple. Like, I want to do this podcast for the people who have been listening since day one, the people who have joined recently are enjoying the messages, right? It is unrealistic for me to expect that everybody will like my podcast. It is unrealistic for me to expect that everybody will like this podcast, right? Like, it's just not what this podcast is. Although I do believe there are a lot of valuable little points in some of these talks that I give. I also know that I'm practicing, I'm learning. I know in 5 years from now, when I do speaking engagements, or if I keep continuing to do the podcast, that it will be much better. It'll be put together better. It'll be more organized. I'll maybe have more production behind it or whatever. But do the things that you want to do for you, and don't do things to impress others, right? Don't do things to please other people in a sense, right? Like, I don't need you, well, I bought the car because, that's actually a really good example is, buying the car that you want to, that feeling of people looking at you, right? Like the Mercedes and the BMWs maybe, or whatever, right? Like, I'm not saying don't buy those cars. I'm just saying some people buy a vehicle for the brand and what it makes you feel like people perceive you as. That is not a good way to go about life. If you love Mercedes, if you love BMW, if you actually went and test drove cars and you're like, oh my gosh, like, I love this, the way it handles, the way it feels, and all this stuff, you're not just buying it for the social status or the image, then go for it. You could be a car lover. You could be, I'm going to buy a Lamborghini because I just love everything about the brand of Lamborghini, right? Don't go buying a Lambo because you want to impress somebody or you want, that feeling. So no matter what you're going through in life, what you're doing, the decisions you are making, I think opinions are good. You need to know what your people close to you think, and also the people that you aspire to be. You want opinions from those types of people as well, so you can kind of see what they would do, right, if they're in your shoes or whatever. So do what you want to do for you. Buy what you want to buy for you. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. Again, you only have a handful of people who really do care about you in this world, and then after that, why are we worried about what other people think? The typical, when you're in middle school, you gotta put your hand in front of your mouth because you're nervous for people to watch you, or public speaking, right? You don't want to go and talk in front of everybody because you're worried about what everybody else thinks. And I get it, that's totally different in middle school. I'm not comparing it, but that feeling of embarrassment, that feeling of worried about what everybody else thinks, and do you care about you, do what you got to do, and make the decisions for you that is best for you, right? So again, I've just had a couple conversations lately and situations, and I don't do everything that I do for everybody else all the time. I mean, there are decisions that I make for the business that is in the best interest of maybe everybody or majority or whatever, but at the end of the day, you got to do what you need to do as well. So I'm not saying be selfish necessarily. I'm not saying only care about yourself. I'm just saying if you're worried about what everybody else is going to think, I challenge you to not worry about that part of it, right? So lastly, as our business, I've been doing some reflecting. Like I said in the last couple episodes, I've been doing some self-reflecting and trying to learn how I can be a better leader and bring everybody together better. We started our weekly emails, or we're going to try to do it weekly. I say weekly or bi-weekly just in case we do fall behind a week, but our goal is a weekly email to our entire staff list, our entire team, so people know what's going on at all of our facilities, at all of our businesses. I want to help bring our team together and make sure everybody knows, like, this is a team. Like, so again, working on that camaraderie and implementing some systems to build that team camaraderie and to build that atmosphere and that culture. Each of our businesses, between Priority Fitness and each gym location, and then the restaurant, they're different people, they're different cultures, like same culture vibe generally speaking, but not everybody at every location knows each other, and that they don't need to. But the more each individual on our team can know what's going on everywhere else, what I've come to learn as we grow, as a leader, as somebody who is, like, in quotations, the face of the business, right? And maybe I'm saying this out loud, it's a documentation too at my current age and kind of expanding and growing, but it's not easy. Well, it's not physically possible to be everywhere at once. It's not physically possible to communicate with everybody every single day. And that's why we build teams. That's why we build systems. That's why we have people in place to help with the communications, right? But we're in like a growth phase. We're in an expansion phase. I can't be in front of everybody at all the time. I can't work with everybody on a day-to-day or even a week-to-week or even a month-to-month basis, right? Like, I know we have some people on our team that I haven't even really had much more than a couple text conversation with, like, and that's me. That's on me as a leader. I need to do better. As we grow and expand, things will get tougher, and I'm not necessarily, in quotations, the boss of every business. Like, and I try not to be. My goal is to have people in place to help run the organization. Gavino is stepping in for the gyms. Kyle and Nolan help run Priority Fitness, right? Like, they are the directs in those companies. I just help make the decisions that need help with, right? Like whatever comes to my table, I'm here to help direct and continue moving forward. And sometimes in business, with this growth and expansion, our teams don't always understand. It's just hard sometimes, right? I can't be everywhere at once. And so one of the things I've been self-reflecting on is how can I bring our team more together? How can I get everybody seeing the entire vision, realizing it's not just the gym here or the gym there or the priority here. I want everybody to be working for the same vision and the same team. So we're thinking of some cool, fun things to bring the team together this summer and do some team events, whether it's cookouts, like staff appreciation type stuff, but really mean it, like not just a pizza party, but like, maybe we go do a cookout somewhere. Maybe we go to a Brewer game. Maybe we, do this or do that, right? So maybe we all go do a kayak trip or a canoe trip, right? Or something just fun and different. And so that's kind of where my mind has been lately. Obviously trying to run the businesses, but how can we bring everybody together more and make sure that communication across the board is happening and make sure that everybody's happy. Again, just something I'm self-reflecting on and trying to understand more. So anyways, I appreciate you guys for listening. Hopefully you got one or two things pulled away from this episode, and I don't know, see you guys soon. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Thanks so much.